Hello, my name is Kelvin Davis. I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. What I want to talk about today is simply that I believe that we within our community, black folks in particular, need to develop a sense of urgency as concerning home ownership. Here in America, we were brought to do hard labor. We were brought to do hard labor, did over 400 years of hard labor. And once we were emancipated or freed, then we were set loose, so to speak, but no training, no therapy, no real plan or education instruction as to what to do next. We had Jim Crow to deal with. We had a lot of negative energy towards us on a government level, both nationally and locally. So with that being said, we had to scratch and claw our way to where we are today. And there are a lot of systems that were in place then, a lot of systems that are in place now that were never intended for us to prosper, never set up so that we could have a true leg up or a true opportunity in this country. So I say it's time for us to begin to develop a sense of urgency as concerning homeownership. I believe that there are at least three what I'm going to call easy ways to create generational wealth, to begin to generate wealth within our community. And that's homeownership, life insurance, and going into business for yourself, or at least getting some sort of side hustle going. Now, I say home ownership is easy, and we're going to talk over the course of however long it takes. But I want to talk to you about home ownership. I want to have guests on as concerning life insurance and also setting up business. There are different things that you can do, whether it's a daycare, tax preparation business, lawn care business. And I know several people who are in businesses, builders, real estate agencies, brokers, mortgage brokers who've gone into business for themselves. So we'll be able to talk about those things. But I believe that there are at least three easy ways. And I'm saying easy because as concerning home ownership, anyone can work for 30 years and put money on a mortgage and have a mortgage paid off within their lifetime. All right. Now, it's going to take a consistent payment. Some houses or some plans are set up to where you can pay your house off early, 20 years, 15 years, 10 years. But if you were to just work your job, work a job that you can pay your house note, and you just paid over the course of 30 years, by the time you have that house paid for, if you have children or even grandchildren at the time, now you have something that you can leave to that child or grandchild when you pass on to the next life. Now, in this scenario, we have Mama, Big Mama, who has worked maybe as a domestic person, maybe as a secretary. It doesn't have to be anything great. She doesn't have to be a doctor, lawyer, brain surgeon or anything like that. But if she works a job to where she can pay that house note, and I'm using women as an example, no offense to the fellas, I was raised in a single parent household. So what I'm saying there, now if it's a mom and dad, that's even more power, even more reason to make sure that you own a house or buy a house because you have two incomes coming in. But I'm saying that it's even possible for a single family household, one person in the family, one parent in the house. So you have Big Mama, she's worked 30 years to pay off her house. Daughter is there with her daughter. Now we have Big Mama passing on. We have the daughter there who has become Mama now because she has a daughter. She's inherits Big Mama's house. She can either live there rent free because it's paid for and take the money that she gets off of her job and put it into a savings to where maybe she can set up a business someday on her own. Or if she doesn't want to live in Big Mama's house, she goes and buys her own house, has Big Mama's house as a rental. Rent out that house or sell it. I say keep it and rent it out, but if she chooses to sell it, take that money, put it into an account so that it is there for future generations. Don't live off of that money. Don't do anything with that money except save it or invest it into something. All right. Now, if she chooses to keep the house, which I would recommend, she can rent it out, use the rent to keep the house up. It's free and clear. Don't go and get a cash out refi and pull all the money out. Now you're having to pay two house notes, the house you're living in and the house that Big Mama paid for, but you chose to pull money out of. So now when Mama passes on to the next life, granddaughter has potentially Big Mama's house and Mama's house, where she can live in Mama's house rent-free, save her money, and build up a nice nest egg. Or if she wants her own house, she moves into her own house, paying her house note. She has Big Mama's house and Mama's house, potentially to rent out to someone, use the rent to keep them up, and also have money coming in, passive income coming in that she can stockpile for future use. So with that being the case, now we have potentially for great-granddaughter 3 houses paid for in full that she can have to use as rental properties, use as leverage for something else that she wants to do. But the point I'm trying to make is there's an easy way for us to begin to create generational wealth within our communities, as simple as purchasing a home, as simple as getting life insurance, and as simple as going into business for yourself or creating a side hustle. So we're going to continue to talk about these things. We're going to elaborate. I'm going to draw it all the way out, the example I gave, but we're going to talk about some credit things, because a lot of people have issues and say, well, how can I get into a house and my credit is jacked up? I'm at a 500 credit score and I have all kind of derogatory information on my credit report. We're going to talk about those things. We're going to tell you what you need to do to build up your score. We're going to tell you what you need to do to get those items removed, to get yourself out of situations that you believe are keeping you from owning a home. So our goal is to get you in a house. And I say create a sense of urgency within ourselves, because I know that there are institutional investors, there are companies, Wall Street companies, BlackRock, and big name companies that are purchasing houses 100 at a time, 1,000 houses at a time, and they're not purchasing these houses to sell them again because they want to make a profit from the sale. They're purchasing these houses so as to rent them. They want to rent forever because that's money coming in. That's good money, passive money coming in. You're always going to have someone who's going to be a renter, whether it's a college student, whether it's a person getting out of their parents' house for the first time, or whether it's a person who's going to a new city, hadn't decided on being there forever. So maybe they're just going to rent for a while and see how they like it. There's always going to be someone renting. So with that being the case, these companies are buying houses, and most of the houses that they're buying the houses that traditionally we as black folks would purchase, the $150,000 and down house, in that market range. So unless you're able to purchase a house $200,000 and up, according on what part of the country you're in. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama. So if you're not able to purchase a house that's $200,000 and up, then you're going to be priced out of the market, and you will be renting forever because they're snatching up these houses left and right. So I say let's develop a sense of urgency so that we can go on and get ourselves in position so that we can truly own a piece of this American pie, which is generational wealth. It's contained within generational wealth. You can't will a job down to future generations, but you can will a house down. You can't leave a job to future generations, but you can leave life insurance money to a beneficiary. You can't will a job or and I'm just going to leave it at job. I mean, we'll come up with some other examples, but you can't leave that in a will, all right? But you can leave a business that you've created or a side hustle that you turn into a business. Maybe you have a little catering side hustles that you're doing, doing little events for your friends or people, at your church, but you turn that into an actual business, get your LLC set up, or maybe